Hello Booktube, welcome back to my channel. My name's Heidi and my channel name is My Reading Life. Today I am going to do the Booktube Newbie Tag and hopefully that will be just a way for me to get some information out there about myself and for you to get to know me a little bit better. So question number one is, why did you start this channel? And the reason why I started this channel is because I've had a lot of fun sort of watching everybody else's channels. I've been following Booktube for probably a little over a year now, and I really enjoy seeing what other people are reading. Like the best thing about YouTube, I think, or Booktube, I should say, is just seeing what people are currently reading, what they've just read, what they're excited about reading soon, and that sort of thing. So I really enjoy that part of Booktube. All the other things like tags and book hauls and all that I also enjoy. It's pretty much everything about Booktube I enjoy. So I just thought I'd like to join in the fun. Question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Well, I don't particularly think I'm unique in any way. What I hope I can bring is that I read widely across a wide range of genres, and I just like talking about books with everyone, and I don't have a lot of people in my real life that are interested in talking about books, so this is a way for me to sort of put myself out there and talk about books. So that's sort of where I'm coming from. Question 3, what are you most excited for about this channel? I think just like I said, the opportunity to really talk about books with folks. It's not something I get to do a lot, and sometimes I get really excited about books and I try to talk about it with people in my real life and they're like, okay, book nerd, we don't care. So this is hopefully an outlet for me to get really excited and really fangirly about books that I'm loving. Question 4, why do you love reading? Why does anybody love anything, right? I can't tell you why I love reading. I can only tell you that I have always loved reading from a very young age. I don't remember ever not loving reading. It's been my primary hobby my whole life. Anybody that knows me or has known me for a long time will tell you that I have gone through stages in my life where all I did was read, which I don't think is necessarily true, that the only thing I was doing was reading, but it certainly is my number one hobby and the thing that makes me most content. Question 5, what book or series got you into reading? I don't remember for sure the first book I read on my own. I know that I was reading before I started school, and the first thing that I can remember reading on my own was I had a primer that was my grandfather's, like his reading primer, and it had The Milkmaid and Her Pail was one of the stories in this primer. And I must have memorized it. I maybe was like 3 years old, and I must have memorized it from hearing my mother read it to me. And I can remember taking the book and carrying it up to my mother and like reading her the book. I think I probably had just memorized it, but she and her being, wow, that's a good job. So that's the first thing I really remember reading. But the first series that I remember loving was this one. This isn't the original one that I started with, but the Little House on the Prairie series, my first true love with series. I've read these dozens of times in my lifetime. And the first time I read one on my own without any help from any other adults, I remember it was in first grade, and it was my first chapter book, because I can remember that some of the teachers were like, Heidi, are you really reading that book? And I was really reading that book. And the one that really sticks in my mind is Little House on the Prairie. That was my absolute fave. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I think the question that I like to hear answered from any booktuber is like your top 5 favorite books of all time or your top 10 books of all time. And I know that this is a moving target and that everybody, those of us that are readers, you know, it's hard to pick from your babies which one's your favorite, which one is not your favorite. And those things change over time. But I still find it fascinating, like hearing about what people love, what books they love. And I love hearing about when that changes. Like maybe it's a book that you've loved your whole life and then you reread it and you're like, like I would say that my favorite book of all time is the Lord of the Rings series, which isn't just one book, but I would argue that maybe it is one book in 3 separate volumes. But anyway, and I've reread them multiple times in my life, but I don't know how much of my love of those books is from the nostalgia of the first time I read them, which was when I was like 10 years old. I had gotten them for Christmas one year, and then I got sick with a bad flu over Christmas break, and all I did was lay on the couch and read the Lord of the Rings series. And it was the first time I can remember being transported into another world. You know that feeling when you read a book and you're just in it, like you're just part of that world, like the rest of the real world recedes away from you, and all you are is in, you know, the place in the book, in my case Middle Earth. That feeling is just the best feeling. And the last question, question 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? And I think for me, it's going to be the technology. I have never made videos before. I'm currently filming this on my iPhone, and I'm trying out different locations in my house to try to deal with lighting and all of that. I don't know how to edit yet, so that's something my daughter's going to help me with. So far I'm just unedited, coming to you unedited. And I think the technological part of filming will probably be the hardest part. The other hard thing for me will be fitting filming into my schedule. I work full time, I have 2 children, life is crazy, lots of things going on all the time, just like everybody else. But I want to make this a priority because I really want to participate in this community. So hopefully that won't be too much of a challenge. But those are all the questions for the Booktube Newbie Tag, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.